Welcome to the ISO Show, dispelling myths and sharing tips for success to improve your business with ISO standards, with your host, Mel Blackmore.
Hi, and welcome to the ISO Show. Although it's great news that we're returning to work now, are you actually confident that you fulfilled your duty of care as an employer? Or as an employee, are you confident that your company is managing your return to work safely? Well, over the coming months, it's important that we know the health status of our workforce in real time. However, that's easier said than done. Or is it? One of our clients for many years, Riskex, have been in the health and safety software space for many years and are now offering, free of charge, a COVID-19 health assessment. So here to tell us more about it, it's the AssessNet Chief Technical Officer, James Sharp. Hi, James.
Hi, Mel.
Right, thanks very much for joining us. Before we delve into the COVID-19 health assessment tool for employers, could you share with me a bit about how Riskex began and obviously the background to AssessNet as well and what the company actually does?
Of course. So Riskex was born and bred, or the idea of AssessNet and Riskex was born and bred around about 2000. So been going for over 20 years. And it stemmed off of a health and safety consultancy firm at the time called Safe and Sound, who was successful in the Milton Keynes area and nationally. And I was brought in as a programmer. I know the CEO well at the time. And he asked me to build them an online health and safety management solution for their consultants. So that's what I did. And over the span of about 2 or 3 years, it was seen over their shoulders in a lot of organizations. And they said, well, actually, could we not use this software to manage safety ourselves, as opposed to it being something just for Safe and Sound and just for the consultants? So Riskex was then formed, and it was outperforming Safe and Sound in general in the consultancy side. So it seemed a viable thing to go ahead and do. We re-engineered the product back in 2004, I believe it was, and started to sell AssessNet as an online health and safety cloud management tool to any organization, essentially. And it just spiraled from there. It's been going from success. We've built the company around that now, and it's mostly all just Riskex now. It's all about the software, the product. We have consultancy aspects to what we do. But the key factor there is, over those 20 years, is that we are health and safety professionals that have built a safety product. And that's a big USP for us in the market. You know, we're not owned by VCs and so on. We have always loved health and safety, and we've tried to put that into our products and listen to our customers. So that is a unique side of what we do. We're not just a software house. When I architect the system myself and did my NEBOSH General Certificate, then I went and did my diploma, so that not just a glorified programmer, I could understand the subject. And we've made that stamp in the market now, and we will continue to do so.
Great. And so could you just explain a little bit about what the software actually does then for business?
So AssessNet itself, that is for an online health and safety management tool. What that will do is it will take all of your health and safety compliance aspects and put them into the cloud, so that there's a lot more transparency and you can spread that far and wide. So the simplest way to look at this would be things like risk assessment and DSE and accident reporting. You know, they can create risk assessments on our platform. They can share them across their organization with ease. They can manage all the action tracking off the back of that, have various alerts go out to individuals, have intelligence built in for them. And it's all stored there. It's all online. They could be in another country and they could grab that data if they needed to. And we have many clients that utilize it across countries and also multilingual. Then you've got things like DSE, which will go out and get workplace assessments for them, get them to do their training, self-assess their workstation, and give you the analytical data you need to make good decisions on compliance of workstations. And then you've got reporting tools such as accident, hazard reporting, and so on, where any employee can come in and report an accident, report a hazard, you know, have a look at their training data, anything like that. It's connecting the dots in health and safety, which is generally missed, whereby health and safety is not a person in an office with a load of forms that nobody knows about or no one understands because they're never involved. What AssessNet does is it gets everybody involved, and it allows exclusivity so that employees can go on and they can find a risk assessment. They can contribute to it. They can contribute to an accident reporting investigation if need be. And it gives everyone a lot more power and everyone a lot more eyes. So it's an overarching compliance.
So could you explain the logic behind the new Fit to Work tool then, the free health assessment for COVID-19 that you're providing, obviously with that wealth of knowledge and experience that you've gathered over the years? It's amazing that there is a free tool available. Could you just explain the logic behind that then, please, James?
Yeah, certainly. If I give a slight journey there then. So what essentially has happened is when COVID came around, we first of all thought, right, we should do something for our clients. We should do something that helps them manage this situation, understand what's happening, because everyone was going to be home working and that spreads your health and safety compliance all over the place. So we devised a tool where we could allow employees to come in, undertake a quick assessment, which takes less than 30 seconds, and provide a dashboard to administrators and managers to show who's got symptoms, who hasn't, who's isolated, who's vulnerable, who's fit for work, who's not. And it will give you all those stats in real time. So we started with our client base. And actually what happened was, over a couple of weeks, our client base came to us and said, could you build something? We were like, oh, lo and behold, we are. We actually are. I think they always look to us that we're going to innovate. We're going to do something. We generally do. So that worked out quite well for us. And we've got some really, really big high profile clients really smashing the assessments every single day now within sectors like Formula One and NHS and care homes and manufacturing and all sorts.
Wow, that's pretty awesome as well. The fact that it only takes 30 seconds as well to complete it. So, typically a lot of organisations that think that completing risk assessments involves a lot of paperwork and hassle and it's a major burden. And I bet a lot of companies are thinking, not more assessments, risk assessments that we've got to complete for COVID now. So the fact that you've got that down to about 30 seconds is awesome.
Yeah, I think it was key because if you're going to ask someone to do an assessment every day or every 72 hours, because it will send notifications out every 72 hours, but it can be customized. You don't want something that's going to take them quite a long time. So we decided that we were going to make it very lean and the questions will build themselves based on your answers. So it's not asking you for surplus questions. So it has been a bit of a target going forward. And now that we have got it away from our clients as well, in the sense of being able to make it free, that's been through the fact of the generosity of our actual hosting provider, Rackspace, who are globally worldwide, providing us with hundreds of servers free of charge throughout the COVID period till the end of October, so that we can actually use this tool and send it out to any UK business. And that's how we've been able to give it completely free, because we've done the development already.
That's really generous, isn't it? The fact that they're helping to contribute to the cause in that way, and the fact that you've given your time and energy to developing this tool as well and making it accessible to, is it just in the UK or can other, because we do have international listeners as well, is it just for the UK at the moment?
Yes, at the moment it's just purely for UK. We can put servers wherever we want in the world utilising that scheme, and we are already in talk with the USA side. But at the moment, the tool is governed to the UK because of the question sets itself. So it's all aligned. And once we have something a bit wider, that's where we'll let people know. But we are in talks with doing something outside of the UK at the moment.
So if I'm an employer and I want to start using this free tool, could you just explain how I would go about accessing it and how it works in practice?
Yes. So we decided that because we wanted to try and get this out to all UK businesses, we wouldn't have the throughput to deal with hundreds of thousands of calls to set these up. So we've designed an onboarding tool that clients can utilize and set their whole company up and get assessments out straight away. And we've made it as lean as possible. The actual process takes less than 5 minutes for an organization to set up, and they won't have to contact us at all or do anything of that nature. It will literally tell them what to do, give them all the authentication they're going to need to do it, and keep it safe and secure and all in line with GDPR. And organisations, all they need to do to be able to go and do that is go to covid.riskex.co.uk/setup, and they can start the ball rolling. They can literally get their system up and running, or just visit our main website at www.riskex.co.uk.
Okay, so once we've done that, I mean, that's super easy, isn't it? I think even I could manage that, to do that in 5 minutes and to get access to that. So in terms of next steps, how do you kind of roll that out then to your workforce?
So what will happen is you'll create your own company account essentially, and you'll be given a unique link. And this unique link is what you would send out to all your employees. And it doesn't matter if they're using a corporate email or their own personal email address, because we appreciate that not everyone has got access to corporate email during this time. Because they have that unique link to their organisation, when they set up their email address to the COVID tool, it will know who they belong to. And they'll only have to do that once. From then on, they can just go straight in with their email address and verify who they are. They'll set a password on the way in and they'll do their assessment. In 72 hours later, or whenever they decide to put the renewal on, they'll click a link in their email, they'll put their password in and go straight into the assessment. It's as simple as that. It really is that simple. We don't ask for huge amounts of personal data. Even when it comes to age, we actually ask ranges. So we're keeping it very, very light in the sense of personal data that we're holding and making sure that that's kept secure.
Right, so that gives you a real-time indication of the health status of all of your employees then at any given time then, basically.
Yes, because what that does is that harvests all that data on a regular occasion, and then it provides a real-time dashboard to the administrators. And that allows you then to see such things as who is fit for work and who isn't, who has got underlying health issues, who's home alone, who's got people in their household that have got symptoms or who's got COVID. And you can click on those numbers and it will give you a search filter to show who those actual people are. So there's various analyticals that are going on in the background for you, and it allows you to make then good decisions based on the actual risk assessment of how you're going to bring people back to work or go off to client sites. We have organisations where they have to do an assessment before they go cleaning at a client site, so they can see that they have deemed and said that they're absolutely okay and they're fit for work. And that's been very, very useful with an organisation that we've been working with called SMS Cleaning, who have got a decontamination spray system that they're putting into organisations. So they use our service now to make sure all their cleaners are okay on the day before they set out to work.
That's great. So I can see that there's going to be a heck of a lot of benefits to using the Fit to Work tool. Could you try and summarise what you think the main benefits are then for companies?
The big benefit, I think, of the tool itself is understanding that point in time across your organisation. When everyone's spread out and it's all fragmented like it is at the moment, you're not going to have any idea of how many people at the moment are suffering from symptoms, how many people are fit for work or got underlying health issues. That can be very, very difficult because sometimes HR can be fragmented from health and safety. So you need to understand that position so you understand where the gaps are, where you haven't got first aiders, where you haven't got key workers within the organisation you're going to need, certain tasks of compliance that might need to be adhered to at the same time. So it's about having that real-time dashboard, that snapshot in time to understand what the lay of the land is with regards to COVID-19 in your workforce, regardless of how big they are.
So in theory, it can help to improve productivity then and help businesses to get back into profit as well in some cases, because I know that with certain sectors, like in construction industry, they are going back in certain circumstances. You know, we have some clients that have been working right through actually because they've got clients at universities and other educational establishments. But I think you've got clients in the NHS as well, haven't you? Are they starting to use this tool?
So yes, we've got clients across all various industries and within the care industries, especially across the SESnet, not just a COVID tool. But one really good story is we have a big care group that's outside of the NHS that does critical care and care at home and so forth. And this is thousands of care workers that are going out there. And this organisation is utilising our COVID tool to undertake assessments literally on a daily basis so that they can understand where every care worker is and if they've got any risk of infection, any symptoms, any people in their household that have got symptoms. Should they be locked down? Should they go to work? Should they not? And it's protecting really vulnerable people on the other end. So our tool is not just protecting them, they're utilising it now to help protect the people they're going to go and do critical care for, because these people are incredibly sick. So that's a really good fill story for us, because we've always said if this tool can just save one life, we'd be really happy.
Wow, that is when you put it into context like that. And, you know, we know that it's been really difficult in the care industry, obviously, in addition to the NHS and trying to keep people safe and to prevent the spread. But because this is real time and it's helping to not just prevent the disease from spreading, but also provide that reassurance as well, because there's such a lot of nervousness and anxiety at the moment. But it almost gives them a bit of peace of mind, doesn't it, that they are safe to go and work.
Yes, and I think it's, you know, in that kind of industry as well, it is very important that those frontline people go into an environment that they're not causing more risk. So they're doing everything when it comes to PPE and all that side of things, not just protect themselves, but to protect the other people as well. So it is nice to see that it's being utilised at another layer, not just the employer itself and the employees. It's actually going a bit further down itself. So yeah, it's good. every organisation's using it slightly different. We have organisations that are using it more so now than they were because they're doing it as a return to work. So it's kind of that fit to work brand of, trying to return to work and come back to work. And they'll know then who they can bring back and who they can't because they can do these assessments. We're also looking at initiatives into things like schools and education where schools can utilise it to see if teachers are fit to teach. So we've got kind of like a safe to teach brand where the COVID tool itself can sit there and go, right, are these teachers okay today? Yes, they are. Right, great. They can come in, and it prevents that vulnerability to young people.
Yeah, so it's not just fit to work, it's either fit to care or fit to educate, and it's perfect for so many different sectors, isn't it? And I think obviously one of the things that we need to be cautious of, not just in the UK, but in other countries around the world is, whether we do get this second peak. So do you think that the Fit to Work tool could be used as part of an organisation's business continuity plan if we do get that second peak?
I think in fairness, if this was more widespread, this tool at this moment in time, which it's becoming, then I think that this could have been a really, really good tool to help prevent second peaks because it allows you to be really, really proactive. I know we've got track and trace and so on and so forth, and the government have been very, very difficult to listen to, if I'm honest, with regards to this tool, but I appreciate they're also very busy. But this is a proactive tool in the sense it's asking you every day to understand where you sit. And because it's done at an employee level and employee end, you'll find that there's a lot of buy-in because employees want to feel safe and also they are employed. So they feel a duty to do this as a duty of care. Now, with having that proactiveness is what helps things like second peak. So we want to try and get organisations into work because the economy can't survive the way it's going. And so this tool helps organisations think, well, actually, we can return to work safely because we can do assessments, we can show our due diligence, and we can bring the right people into the workplace and start things going. That nervousness of people being made redundant and all sorts in this industry at the moment, because they're at home and they're working from home, as soon as the workplaces get back into gear and everything comes back to normal, I think people will be in a better mindset when it comes to actually working and their work-life balance and where their job sits and so forth. So one thing that we discussed recently was that, if you're in an organisation and you have someone walk past you to go get a cup of tea, how do you know that person hasn't got symptoms or hasn't got someone at home that's got symptoms? What's your organisation done to show that they've tried to do as much as they can to safeguard you, that everyone else in that building has done an assessment and regularly done an assessment? Because I think a lot of the things are going to come down to liability. I think eventually it's going to be like, someone gets COVID and it's going to be, okay, well, what did you do to prevent me getting COVID from coming back for work? And that's what this kind of system is going to help you do because of the self-assessment process. They're certifying that that is how they feel today, and they're the ones that have completed it.
Yeah, because we really don't know what future claims are going to look like, do we, as far as duty of care is concerned? I think you're absolutely right about being proactive, because obviously I know that it's great track and trace is being introduced, but it is reactive in many respects because we're waiting for somebody to get symptoms as opposed to monitoring it, as you say, maybe every 48 hours to ensure that we continue to prevent the risk as employers as well. So, James, just touching on ISO standards, because listeners might be thinking, oh, this is all well and good. And I know this is part of our resilience series that we're covering at the moment, which covers ISO 22301, the business continuity standard. But Riskex have been certified to the quality standard ISO 9001, OSAS 18001, the health and safety standard, and the information security standard ISO 27001 for many years. So I know that you're a great advocate for ISO standards and they are at the core of your organisation. I was just wondering, how would you say that AssessNet and the health assessment tools support compliance with these standards?
Well, the great thing about AssessNet, actually, we've always tried to champion ISOs. We've never wanted to see them as a badge of honour that we just put on the wall. And it's why that we've always utilised good quality when it comes to ISO, like yourselves as consultants and the people that are auditing us through BSI, because we actually are quite proud of them. It helps with our business. It helps us maintain a good level of compliance when it comes to how we deal with customer issues and product roadmap and our internal security processes. And it's giving people a lot of peace of mind in our industry because we're a cloud system. Those kind of standards at this moment in time, they're helping people take this COVID tool with peace of mind because we have all these standards. We've been doing it a long time. We take care of our security and the quality is going to be good behind what we actually do. So that's always been very, very important. And within our AssessNet product itself, we have a lot of organizations that complete ISOs utilizing data within AssessNet. We are audited on regular occasions by BSI, and they absolutely love our product. We get auditors in and we just throw our product up and we show non-conformances, and especially for 18,001 and 9,001, we're able to show various aspects of what we've done, and it's all automated in AssessNet because we can show record history and modification trails, and we can show cooperation between parties as well when it comes to records and people that are reporting in incidents and hazards and so on and so forth. So the tool works as a two-pronged attack, really. One, it's great for us outgoing because people get trust in us, but we use it internally to manage all our ISO process, and it's been extremely successful over the years. We've never failed not to be recertified.
With the Fit to Work tool, I guess that there is an opportunity there for organisations to link that with risk registers, with risk management strategies, and also objectives potentially, as well as the HR aspect. So it kind of links with many aspects of running an organisation, doesn't it? And as you said, it helps to prevent those records as evidence. So not just about improving the way that you're working and making sure that it's a safe environment to work in, but also being able to demonstrate, if needed, the duty of care that you've actually taken seriously for your organisation, and you can prove that. You're not just kind of talking about it, you're acting on it and you've got the evidence to prove it. So I'm sure that organisations that are using these tools will be in a really good position when it comes to their ongoing surveillance visits. A bit like yourself, James, and with your organisation, that it makes it much, much easier, doesn't it?
It does. And because we're taking a strategy one step forward and got the Safe Today program, which is where you can take the Fit to Work product and you can say, actually, I want to go from a free product to something more like AssessNet. We've put packages in place that are very, very lean and affordable for any organisation to take on, say, the risk assessment, the safety inspection, hazard reporting tools, so they can do more around safety compliance and more towards things like ISOs off the back of the Fit to Work product, because they might not have anything. They might use Fit to Work and think, wow, this is great. I wish I had something like this in my organisation. Well, they've now got a route that they could do that if they wanted to, that's going to be within budgets. And that's come off the back of organisations approaching us for that. So there's other routes that they can take off the back, and obviously that's going to help across the way.
Awesome. Well, I'm really grateful for you sharing this time with us today, and also raising awareness of the Fit to Work tool that's freely available for individuals to be able to use and for companies across the UK. So I'm really, really grateful for the opportunity, and I think it's a no-brainer. I mean, it literally takes 5 minutes to set up and 30 seconds for an employee to be able to complete and to keep track of how we can be proactive in preventing the spread of the virus and to help people to get back to work safely. So thanks once again, James.
No, well, thank you very much for allowing us to spread the word. I think that's the important here, is to spread that word, get people utilising this tool. It is very easy to set up. The best thing to do is if they went to our main website, which is www.riskex.co.uk. So that's riskex.co.uk. There's information on there about the tool and a link there to register and set themselves up straight away. It's completely hands off. We don't need to be involved. They can just get themselves up and running, as you just said. And I think the key when it comes to utilising this tool now and getting people out there is not to sit back thinking, well, if I don't do anything, then I haven't got the liability of it. I just don't think that'll be the case. I think if you're not proactive enough right now, and especially with these free tools available like this, then you're putting yourself and others at danger. And this is going to give you a much better idea and focus as to what's exactly happening in your organisation to make informed decisions. I think it's too easy to say, oh, it's a HR issue or so on and so forth. It's not. It's a well-being issue. And actually it spans...
So true.
Yeah, it spans over all of those organisations.
Absolutely. And also, I think finally it just provides that peace of mind, doesn't it? That you're acting responsibly and you're doing the right thing and you're doing as much as you possibly can do. So that's great. Thanks once again, James. And all of those links that James mentioned is going to be available in the ISO show notes that goes with this podcast as well. So thanks very much for listening. I look forward to catching up with you on the next ISO show.